Welcome back to another episode of r/slash idontworkherelady. Get ready for some laughs. We have some great stories to share with you. And make sure that if you like what you hear, that you comment at the end as well as subscribe, because that definitely means a lot to us. And our first story today is posted by she_wolfgod1998. Karen has a freak out at Walmart. This I will never forget. I used to work at my local Walmart, but I only worked there for 3 months, then quit because I couldn't work the schedule I was on. I worked the graveyard shift. That means I worked from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Fun. I quit because I would sleep all day and be up all night, have no time for family or friends, and I couldn't do that, nor was I able to switch to the day shift since there was no openings for that day shift. After 3 weeks of me quitting, I returned to do some shopping and to return my vest and name tag. I was standing at the customer service, waiting for the general manager to come get the vest and tag. As I was waiting, this woman, aka Karen, walks up right to me and crosses her arms and snarls at me. Me, can I help you? Karen, yes. I've been waiting for you to stop talking for nearly an hour. Me, I've been here for 5 minutes. What do you want? Karen, I need help. I want to buy a TV, but I can't carry it. Me, I don't work here, lady. The customer service girl holds in a giggle as she tries to calm down the Karen. Karen, yes you do. You do work here. I saw you just a month ago working here. Me, I quit like 3 weeks ago. I no longer work here. If you want help, how about you lose that shoddy Karen attitude of yours and nicely ask for help before demanding someone? No wonder why people think you are a butch. We had problems with her multiple times. Karen goes on and on how she's going to get me fired for this and how she knows the general manager. Me, go ahead. I don't care. I don't work here. I put the tag and vest down on the counter and did my shopping. The general manager comes up and fist bumps me as it was our way of saying hey to each other. He tells me what Karen said and laughed. Jim, I swear, that woman is crazy. I tried to tell her that you don't work here. Me, that's what I told her. Jim, don't worry if she does anything, she will be banned. I finished up my shopping, and what do you know? Karen slapped the general manager for being so inconsistent of her being assaulted by me. I didn't even put my hands on her. And next thing she knew, she was banned and arrested for attacking the elderly. The general manager is 86. And this next story is called You Don't Work Here. Well, you work here now. The story is about my sister, who has the patience of a saint and more adventures in Target. And yes, this is the same Target where my Karen encounter took place. Context. My older sister, who I shall call Cece in this, is a teacher. She began teaching back in 2011 or 2012. I don't exactly remember. All I remember is this happened in 2013, around the time she first moved out. By this time, she was a seasoned veteran teacher, having taught at a private school she had at this, has dealt with all kinds of entitled and dealt with it like a saint. My sister should be Christian Saint Cece, patron saint of love all, trust few, and do no wrong. Now, on to the story. This took place in the fall of 2013. It was the beginning of the school year. My sister had been teaching for a total of a couple years. I think she may even start teaching in 2010. At this point, she started teaching at a private school and had moved out and moved in with a friend. Cece had just gotten off to work, and if you are a teacher or know a teacher, you know that teachers don't leave when the kids do. It was 3:30 when Cece's school let out, and she had carpool duty that day. It was also homecoming week, and that day was a school spirit day. She had her homecoming shirt on, a bright blue shirt with the school's name, Catholic school, with the school year. She also had a Pokemon lanyard with her ID with her picture on it, the school name, and it was clearly labeled teacher. It was around 4 o'clock when carpool duty was finished, and Cece had to go to Target to pick up some things up for dinner. Now keep in mind what she wore. Nothing like the Target employees. While Cece was in the meat section and texting her roommate asking her what kind of meat she wanted for that pizza that night, she was consumed in her texting when she felt someone tap her shoulder. It turned out to be one of her parents and student. This is also important. Parent: Hey, Miss Cece, did you have a good day? Did child give you any problems? Child, Dad, stop. You know Miss Cece likes me. Cece laughs and says, child was great today. I love having her in my class. She and the parent talked for a little more while and left Cece to do her shopping. Her roommate said to get some chicken for the pizza, but she is getting the chicken. She felt which finger to dig into her shoulders. Now, Cece hates people touching her without telling her, and she freaks out. This lady touching her almost sent her over the edge. She turned around, dropped her chicken in the cart. It was the Target manager looking at my sister with a scowl. She was wearing a red Target polo and her name on it, and let's say it was Karen just for fun. Karen, how dare you? I don't pay you for talking with customers. Put that chicken back. Cece, who works at a fancy Catholic school, has dealt with the Karens, Chads, and their hellspawn with the grace of Jesus. I don't know how she dealt with it, but she did it for 5 years before she quit that school and started at another. But this lady was like the wicked witch of the West. Cece, taken back. What the hell are you talking about? I work at school. Karen, I know you go to school. You're late again for your shift. This will be the last time it happens. Cece is terrified and her anxiety is kicking up. This is before she got diagnosed with it. Cece, very nervous. Ma'am, I can assure you that I do not work here. I'm a math teacher at Catholic school. I teach high school. Karen not caring that Cece did not even wear their Target uniform, and despite her telling her that she was a teacher. At this point, Cece was just wanting to get out of the store, and somehow, by the grace of whatever cosmic deity, got a call on her radio because of a spell somewhere in the store. Karen looks at my sister and says, Karen, this is not over for you. Cece shook herself out of her anxiety and went to the front. She eventually got to the registers where she met up with parent and child. Parent looked at my sister with a concerned look, considering Cece looked like a ghost. Parent, Miss Cece, you okay? Cece, yeah. I just had a weird encounter, though. She regales the tale about the manager, and parent looks shocked. I think child was out of the store at this point. Like I said, my sister's a high school teacher. Parent, oh, wow. That's really wild, huh? Cece, yeah, it was pretty wild. Cece laughed nervously and leaned on the cart when Karen spotted her and pointed at her. Karen, you! Told you to get to work. I will have you fired. You will never work here again. Cece is shaking at this point at her cart. Parent looks over and puts a hand on Cece, comforting her and letting her know he's got this. Parent, ma'am, I don't know what your problem is, but this is my daughter's teacher. She teaches at Catholic school. At this point, my sister tentatively handed over the ID in hopes of convincing Karen. Apparently not. Karen, so you really are a teacher at Catholic school? Well, I just hired her. Parent and Cece just looked shocked. Had Karen just lost her mind? Parent, have you lost your mind? Karen just looked shocked, like someone had the gall to shout at her, but she stood her ground. Karen, I just hired her, and she was late. Karen is clearly on a power trip, and Cece is scared shitless. She hid behind Parent, who was a big guy who I later learned from was in the military and worked for the state police. Parent, I am not going to say this again. Cece did not quit. The school she works for is in the South End Diocese, who gives her paycheck, not you. Karen tried to get another word, but Parent again stood up for my sister and threatened to call the state troopers. This got her attention. Karen stopped and left my poor sister alone. Parent offered to pay for her things, but Cece said no. She went home and asked her roommate to cook dinner. From what I know, Parent offered to press charges against this Karen or threatened to, but my sister did not want to. But looking back, she should have. All I know is that Karen was reported and was demoted from her position and was hopefully fired. My sister has thankfully gone to therapy to help with her anxiety and has gotten a lot better. She has since quit a job at St. Margaret's due to other issues found at a better school. And now this next story is posted by u/Jorgen@watertim, and it is I'm 13 and got mistaken for an employee. EM equals entitled mom, FOTY equals father of the year. So this happened like a week ago as of me writing this. But basically, I'm at a Walmart with my mom, and when I go to pretty much any store, I tend to split up with the person I'm there with. Now to the story. As the title says, I'm 13 but have a relatively deep voice and some would say defined facial features. I'm also wearing jeans and a blue shirt, but not the employee vest. So I'm casually in the Lego aisle just looking around at some cool Legos, although I'm not really into them. When I hear a, "Excuse me," I turn to look and what I see is an absolute definition of Karen. I say, yeah, puzzled as to what's happening. EM says, "Are you going to help me or what?" That's when I realized what's going on. I was pretty excited because I had been watching rslash on YouTube and watched a bunch of the rslash I don't work here lady videos. Great channel, by the way. Check them out. Before I could say anything, EM calls me useless and says, "This is why you're working at Walmart for $10 an hour." The first thing I say is, "I don't work here, Karen." And then, even if I did work here, your sorry butt would be the last person I'd help. She stands there with her jaw dropped like a Looney Tune. EM finally comes back down to earth and says, practically screaming at the top of her lungs, "That is no way to treat a paying customer," and drops the oh so classic, "Let me speak to the manager." To which I say, "Do you see a vest on me? Do I have a name tag? Lady, for the last time, I don't work here." She calls me a liar and brings back up her husband and 2 kids. She says that I assaulted her. WTF, he is 100 times better than her, and FOTY says, I don't think so. To which then EM says that he won't get the manager, blah, blah, blah. FOTY just says, "That's because he doesn't work here." You know that fuzzy, pulsy feeling when you get something shocking but good happens? That's what happened with me. Finally, only one entitled parent and not both. She takes a look at me, still not getting a clue, and says, "But he's wearing a uniform." To which FOTY responds, "That's not the uniform." By then, the actual employee shows up and a couple bystanders, I think like 4 or 5. The employee says, "What's going on?" To which EM says, "That worker won't help me find what I'm looking for." Keep in mind, she hasn't even told me what she's looking for. The employee says, "Ma'am, he doesn't work here." Her kids were at this point trying not to look in my direction, probably embarrassed. EM tries to make up a lie on the spot but comes out with this instead. "He just hid his vest and name tag somewhere to try to embarrass me." I can't make this stuff up. That's when I start losing it. I just start laughing at what she just said. She screams, breaking my eardrums, "Don't laugh at me." That's when her kids leave to another aisle. My mom made her way over and realizes what's going on and says, "This is my son." I now see Karen lose all color from her face and try to mutter something before yanking on her husband's arm, trying to get the hell out of there. Her kids follow, but way behind, trying not to be matched with them. My mom just asks, "Did she touch you?" To which I say no. Everybody starts to just leave, so we do too. As we're paying, we see Karen again as she gives me the classic Karen death stare, and I never see her again. This is going to be heard all by my classmates once school starts up. I hate Karen. I hope you guys enjoyed these 3 great stories. They're getting funnier and funnier and funnier. Do us a huge favor and in your comments below, not only give us a thumbs up, but also let us know which of these 3 stories were your favorites and why, so we can kind of get the conversation going. Once again, this has been TNA, Top Notch Audio. Have yourself a great day. And make sure that you subscribe and share this with others.